All right, we are talking about the most important thing when doing math, and that is to make sure that, first of all, we always use a pencil with an eraser on paper, or if you have your whiteboard and your whiteboard marker, use that so that you can erase simple mistakes, okay? So the first thing that I wanted to talk about is organizing your work, because it is so important to organize your work, especially when you're doing math. So this is why I always say that you can use paper, you can use a whiteboard. Right now I have a really big whiteboard so I can share all my space. And I just wanted to talk with you about how we can organize our work so we don't make simple mistakes. So if I have 137 and I want to take away 98, there's a couple ways that I can do this, right? So I can do the first way that we learned, which would be the standard algorithm. And remember, this is when we're knocking on neighbors' doors and borrowing, right? If we need to, because sometimes we don't need to and sometimes we do. And in this situation, when we are using the standard algorithm, we always start in our ones place. And remember, this is our ones place, this is our tens place, this is our hundreds place. So I'm starting in my ones place. I'm going to start at the top. And I'm going to see, well, this is 7, and I need to take away 8. So if I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, can I take 8 away from that? No, I cannot. So what I need to do is I need to knock on my neighbor's door, right? And I need to ask, can I borrow 10? Because I only have 7 and I need to take 8 away. And my neighbor's going to say yes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to neatly just cross off my 3. And I'm going to make that 3 a 2. And I'm just going to put it right on top, just like that. And then I'm going to give the 10 that I borrowed, because remember, this is technically 30 and this is technically 20. So now I'm going to cross off my 7, or actually no, we're not going to cross off our 7. We're going to add a 1, just super neat, to my 7, just like that, so it looks like 17. Then I'm going to take 17 and I'm going to subtract 8. Now 17 minus 8 can be a little bit difficult, so there's a couple ways you can do that. So you have 17 minus 8, so we can get down to 10 first, right? So if I have 17, well, I know that 10 take away 7, or 17 take away 7 is 10, so then that means I only have 1. So if I had 10 take away 1, that's 9. And I put it right there. And notice how I'm organizing my work. I'm keeping it super organized. And just to double check, you can always look at 9 plus 8 gives you 17, and it does. Then we move over to our tens place. And remember, this is not a 3 anymore, it's a 2. So can we take 2 and subtract 9? No, we cannot. So we need to knock on our neighbor's door, and we need to ask, can I borrow a 100, because I'm only 20 and I need to subtract 90. So can I borrow a 100? And they're going to say, well, of course you can. So I'm going to neatly just cross off my 1, and remember that becomes a 0, and I'm going to give it to my 2, and it's going to be 120. So then I'm going to take 120 and I'm going to subtract 90. And then if you need to, count back on your fingers. That works too. So one way that we can subtract is also counting on our fingers. So if we go 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, we get 30. And then we take our tens and or our 100s, and we don't have any hundreds, so we have 0. So our answer is 39. And notice how I kept my work super organized, and I circled my final answer, and I made sure to write down every single step. Now, another way that you could have solved this problem was using compensation. Now, compensation, I'll write the problem again. 137 minus 98. And we're going to use compensating. Right? And remember, compensating, we have to start in the 100s place, or the furthest place over. This way, right? So if I start in my 100s place, we need to subtract 100 from 90. So I have 100. And remember, I got the 100 from here, and then I moved over to my next place value, which is 90. Because remember, we're going to break apart this second number. So 100 minus 90 is 10. Then I need to take my 10, and I'm going to subtract 8. Because remember, we broke 98 up into 90 and 8. So 10 minus 8 is 2. And then remember, we never used this 37 up here, right? So we need to take this 37 to our 2, and we need to write out 37 plus 2, and that gives us 39. And then we're going to circle our final answer.